How many workers do you have here on a daily basis?
We're running anywhere from 200 to 250, probably 200 plus during the day, and then another 50 to 75 on a night shift.
And would you say this is one of the biggest projects you guys have worked on, or you have been in charge of?
No, we do, large projects Mortenson builds, full-blown stadiums and high-rise buildings and airports, and so, it's a large project, especially for the time frame we have, but no, it's not.
So how does 200 to 250 workers compare to some of the larger projects that you do?
I don't know that we compare it necessarily by the workers, but we just completed St. Joe's Hospital, and if I remember right, they were running anywhere from 900 to 1,000 there for the last 6-8 months. So.
And when is the projected final day of the construction right now?
So the building's actually in phases. So the first phase was the seating areas in front of Dow Ward, and then the President's Club seating at the northeast corner. Obviously, getting that done before the first game. The athletic complex is scheduled to be done July 1 of 15, and then the indoor practice facility is actually January of 16.
Okay.
So it gets turned over in phases.
So once you got the first phase done, was there a sigh of relief that you guys had, or was it kind of just, all right, on to the next one?
Yeah, I think there was about 4 hours of sigh of relief, and then we've got another big task getting the athletic complex done and complete in the next really what amounts to 7 months. So
it's almost like a football team, you can celebrate a win, but you got to move on to the next game.
Oh yeah, something like that. But yeah, we gave everybody the game day off, and then Sunday we were back at it again.
So obviously when you have that aggressive timeline, these workers out here are obviously working pretty long shifts.
Yeah, so we were running 2 shifts, 6 days a week, and then towards the turnover period of the seating section, we were actually here 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to sometimes midnight, 1 a.m. In preparation for the first game. Some other logistical issues we ran into is the old road that runs up here and services Dow Ward has to stay open 100% of the time. The college obviously is still using those facilities, so we've got to maintain foot traffic as well as deliveries and staff access to the north side of the project while still trying to build around it. So,
has the weather caused any issues for you guys?
Early on we had a couple really good rains that hampered us pretty good, but 2 nights before we turned over for the stadium seating, we got our first snow, which the timing of that couldn't have been any worse. But other than that, the weather's actually been pretty decent. It's Colorado, so we're pretty well prepared for whatever comes down the pike.
Obviously, the big thing that people usually see is this giant crane. I heard that once the guy's up there, he's got to stay up there for his whole shift. Is that true?
Right. He'll go up there first thing in the morning, and then we actually have 2 crane operators, tower crane operators, and when we're running a double shift, they'll split up their time equally. So yeah, he's up there. Sometimes he's up there 14, 15 hours a day. The front of the indoor practice facility will actually be about where this gentleman in the blue hard hat is.
Okay.
And then at that location, the facade of the building is about 90 feet tall from this elevation here. Eventually it'll all tie together, the indoor practice facility, the athletic complex, all of it will be accessed through a tunnel which actually lines up with Folsom Field level. So say the football players were practicing, they could actually go through into the athletic complex, continue through that building, and then end up out onto the practice field of the indoor practice facility.
So everything is connected as one?
It's all connected as one building, even though on the facade and from the outside of the building, you won't necessarily see that it's one building. It'll look like several different buildings with walkways, stairs, and other say, other features on the outside that'll make it look like actual separate buildings. But when you're within the facility, you can actually get from Folsom Field all the way to the other side without ever leaving the building.
How much contact do you have with Rick George?
Oh, I'd say, on average, it's probably once or twice a week. I mean, whether it's with me or some of our office staff, he stays in pretty good tune with the progress of the construction, milestones, really keeping track of that, and then as well as where we're at budget-wise, and I think those are, obviously probably his two biggest concerns. So.
How fluid are those situations with budget and time and that sort of thing?
Well, budget we're pretty well locked in on and locked down as far as where we're supposed to be. But there's decisions along the way that have to be made. What the chairs need to look like, what color the walls want to be, those kinds of things, and depending on what those finishes are, that can affect the budget. But right now it's schedule and getting folks into the building is really the big push right now. So this is just a portion of the second level or the main level. This will be where the sports performance, the whole second floor will be sports performance, where athletes can come and get therapy or get care of some kind. I'm not exactly sure all of what they're going to provide on this level, but it's pretty much all related to recovery and medical service and for the athletes at CU.
How much hand did you guys have in the design of the entire place?
So this project's put together as a design build job. So we have an architect, Populous, who we do work with pretty regular. So both Mortenson, Populous, and then numerous other designers. We have civil engineers, structural engineers. We're all basically on the same team. So yeah, we're all involved in the design on this one. We're actually building it and designing it. So
what you're kind of saying is that Rick George and the CU Athletic Department had less of a hand in it when it's a design build job?
They have specific criteria that they want to meet. They have specific, and the campus as well has specific criteria as to how the building will look when it's done. From an athletics perspective, they know that they may want meeting rooms of a certain size. They may want, so many offices, so they have criteria that they want met. The actual design of the project and how it's put together is really by the architects and the engineers in Mortenson.
Cool. Do you guys also kind of set benchmarks in terms of when each level is going to be done?
Yeah, we have our schedules broken down, and not just by level, but literally by activity. So you see a lot of guys out there installing rebar. They're early on in the project, we sit down and with their help and determine how long they need to actually get that piece of their work in place. And then it'll be the same with the formwork or the columns or placing concrete. And then ultimately we put that all together to establish, by level, how fast the project is going to go together or needs to go together. The facade of the building will actually go up another 4 stories. So you have coaches' offices, other support staff offices, team rooms. I think there's all sorts of different, showers, locker rooms. That's what this building will support here, but this will ultimately just be a concourse.
Did I hear somewhere that the very top of the building will be sort of an overlook that fans can use on game day, or?
Yeah, right now it's looking like the rooftop of the athletic complex will actually be like an outdoor deck, if you will. So you'll be able to see out over the stadium, really kind of an outside community area, if you will, or,
cool.
or rooftop type experience, I suppose. Yeah, so this first back wall here will be the back of the weight room. And then where it makes the corner there, that far back wall where that blue drill rig will actually be the far end of the indoor practice facility. So the practice facility is about 400 and some feet long, 220 feet wide. So it'll basically go from that back wall all the way to about where the dumpsters are on this end, and then again it'll be 90 feet tall. We're down about 30 some feet from where we're standing right now, right below us. That gets us close to the same elevation as as Folsom Field, and then that'll be the level at which the practice facility is. And then 2 more levels below that we'll have parking. There's a parking garage actually below the playing surface on the indoor practice facility.
And obviously what we are looking at now used to be a hill. How much of an obstacle is that to kind of have to take out an entire hill?
You know, I wouldn't say so much it's an obstacle. I mean, it's just a whole lot of dirt and a whole lot of digging every day. But it's, what is it, about 580,000 cubic yards will end up coming out of this. You know, basically what used to be the north end of Franklin Field, and then all the way down to the old Stadium Drive entrance.
What percentage of the project, if you had to put a percentage on it, would you say you guys are completed with now?
I would say we are roughly 20%. Yeah, you know, even after the structure's up, there's a lot of work that has to take place, you know, within the building, walls, plumbing, electrical, you know, painting. There's 5 pools that get installed, therapy pools, recovery pools that get installed in the building. So where we're running, you know, 250 people now, the luxury we'll have after the building gets up is it creates a lot more square footage to put more people. So we'll end up with people working on every floor simultaneously, and it wouldn't surprise me if we'd be running, you know, 750, 800 people here between painters, drywallers, tile setters. It's across the board. There'd be a lot of people going to town. So.
And is it your job? You're almost in charge of all of those people, making sure they're doing what they need to be doing?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I oversee all of our operations on site. So all of our contractors, all of our self-perform work, and then because of the speed of the project and really the size in combination with the speed, we actually have individual superintendents that look over each project. So they have their own teams, they have their own contractors. Some contractors work on multiple buildings, but so if you ask those guys, you know, really I don't do a whole lot of anything. They're the ones that do all the work, and because they're really down in it and in the nuts and bolts of it. So
obviously it's a long ways away, but you've finished big projects like this before. How rewarding is it when you kind of get to cut down the banner there and really get it opened up?
You know, I think it's different for every project. You know, for stadiums or buildings that you can actually go back into, because we build a lot of projects where, you know, there's even like hospitals, there's certain areas you don't get to see again. So projects that you get to come back to and visit and see it, or you know that other people are enjoying it. It can be pretty rewarding. You don't think too much about it while you're building it, because you know every day seems to be something's wrong, or there's a problem, or it's challenging, or the weather's got you or something. But yeah, you know, for a lot of guys, you know, they know a lot of people that don't have anything to show for their work at the end of the day. So it's pretty gratifying.
Are you yourself a college football fan at all?
I am.
Who's your team?
You know, I wouldn't say anymore I have a team, because you know I'm a native Coloradoan, and it seemed like for so many years when I was growing up we didn't have anybody good to root for. So no, I like college football. I'll always root for the home team anyway. So
when this is done, will you kind of feel like you have a closer connection to Colorado, seeing kind of the fruits of your labor might help them come back to prominence?
Well, I think I'll always have a connection here regardless, but yeah, I think big picture, looking at this project and what CU is trying to do in getting their, you know, athletics, you know, bringing their athletics up and providing the facilities that they are, you know, I think it's really just the first step. They've got so many more things I'm sure that they want to do that are going to, you know, entice more, you know, athletes to want to come here, and I mean, it's a beautiful place. So, you know, it's kind of like build it and they will come.